What's the word, guys? It's your boy Lou Got Fit, and in today's video, we're gonna be talking about the story of how I lost 102 pounds. I went from 308 pounds to 205 pounds in about a year and a half. It's a very interesting story, and I've been fat like my whole life, to be honest. So we gotta take it way back to like when I was in elementary school, right? I probably had came from Africa. Maybe it's been like 3 years now since I came from Africa and stuff like that. And it was my older brother. I'll never forget the day. My older brother, he came from the store. He brought like, I'm from New York, right? And so if you're from New York, then you know the zebra cakes and the Debbie cakes and stuff like that. And so my brother bought a zebra cake, and he also bought like the chocolate rolls, like 2 chocolate rose cakes. And I'm like, dang, that looks good. And so he ended up giving us, like, he gave me and my brother some, and my like sister some too. And then from that day, I was hooked on to Debbie cakes. Like, I was like, yo, when my dad used to give us like $3 every day, bro, I'm heading straight. I'll eat that for breakfast, and I'm eating that for lunch, to be honest. And then in dinner, my mom made a lot of food stuff. I'll get into that too. But yeah, so that's really, I was hooked, and I was just eating that from early on as a kid. And so from there, I started to gain a few pounds. I was very active though as a kid. Like, I used to play basketball, I used to play soccer, I used to play football. I was very active, bro. I even played baseball in 5th grade, but I just couldn't get my eating in order. Like, I was obsessed with junk food. I was obsessed with soda. I was obsessed with a lot of crappy fast food stuff. So from elementary to middle school, I was known as the fat kid. It came to a point where I kind of accepted it, but then I fell in love with basketball, right? And so I started taking basketball serious. Like, I wanted to be the next best basketball player in the world. So I started working out every day, and I actually even started working on my nutrition and eating the correct foods that'll fuel me for the games and stuff like that. And I remember getting down to a nice amount of weight. I think I weighed like, I would say 175. And I'm like, yo, this is perfect. I'm playing basketball, I'm playing AAU, all that stuff. So I got down to 175. I lost a good amount of weight. I started liking the way I looked. I started playing better in basketball and stuff like that. And it was going uphill from there, and then COVID hit, right? When COVID hit, we couldn't go outside, we couldn't play basketball, couldn't go to the gym. And so I was just in the crib every day, all day, just binge watching Netflix, binge watching Hulu, you name it, eating whatever, right? And in that time, the stimulus checks were hitting, the food stamps were going crazy. And so I had access to a good amount of food, like almost unlimited amounts of food. I would eat maybe 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day just off of junk food, doing a whole bunch of nothing. And so one day I woke up and I just looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, God damn, like I blew up to like 300 something pounds. I felt unrecognizable, right? And they started lifting the quarantine mandate. Things started going back to normal, but for some reason, I didn't like going outside anymore. I didn't like playing basketball anymore. I didn't like the things that I used to like. I didn't have no drive, energy, motivation for nothing. I felt ashamed of how I looked. It was crazy, bro. And so for my junior year of high school, it was probably one of the worst years of my life ever. I felt invisible, especially when it came to the girls. When it came to playing basketball, I made the team, but I wasn't as good. And I see everybody, you know, everybody has their little personalities going on with their friends. Everybody has their life, but I have yet to find myself. Like, I don't know what I want for my life or something like that. I didn't really sit and think about what I'm gonna do, you know. I just knew I couldn't stay fat, miserable, and depressed, right? And so one day my dad knocks on the door and says, Falou, you have an appointment tomorrow to go see a doctor. I said, okay, you know, it's regular. It's like my routinely yearly checkup, stuff like that. And so, and keep in mind, this is a very catalyst point in my life, right? This is like what sparked the turn and everything. And so when I went into the doctor's office, you know, we just got finished doing tests, like my height, my weight, my blood pressure, blood sugar, all of that, etc. And my doctor, her name is Dr. Haley. She's this short white lady with white blonde short hair. She is so blunt, she is so truthful. She tells it how it is. She said my blood pressure was way too high for my age. She said I was very obese, like dangerously obese. She also said there's gonna come to a point where it's gonna be a problem for me to even walk, because keep in mind, I messed up my foot when I was playing basketball in junior year. When I left that doctor's appointment that day, I was in complete shambles. I was embarrassed, I was hurt, I was scared, but I knew exactly what I needed to do. That moment on, everything completely changed. The next morning at 5 a.m., I went to the gym, right? I started going to the gym almost every single day. I did an hour of cardio. I would be on the cardio, and then that's when I would watch my shows and stuff like that, and watch my movies and stuff like that, and watch my podcasts. If you like it or not, I started getting very deep into Andrew Tate, Grant Cardone, and the Iman Gadzis and stuff like that. So I started getting into self-improvement very heavy, right? And when it came to weights, I just did the regular, the calisthenics. I did push-ups, pull-ups, sit-up. And then in some days, I would do the weighted machines like the bench press, the lat pull-downs, the squats, and etc. When I first started, I didn't really see as much change, but then I quickly realized it was because of my diet, right? Going back to what I said from when I was in elementary and stuff, I established the crazy addiction to food. I would eat a lot of food. I didn't know portion control. You know how everybody has that mechanism to when they're full, they stop eating? I didn't have that mechanism at all, right? And so I would eat when I was bored, depressed, lazy, just anything. Whatever happened, I'm eating. So I realized the way I'm gonna stay consistent, right? And the way I'm gonna stick to this diet is if I actually like it, if it's something that's actually sustainable, right? And so I decided I'm gonna eat 2 times a day. I eat 3 hours before my workout, and I eat directly after my workout. Those were my 2 meals, and then after that, it was intermittent fasting for the whole day. Before my workouts, I would always eat grapes or watermelon, and then I would have a protein shake and stuff like that, right? Something light, like a little snack. And then after my workout, I would have a grilled chicken salad, or I would have a grilled chicken wrap. And then I would also add on another protein shake then. After that, I'm done for the whole day. I'm just fasting, drinking a whole lot of water, taking in my electrolytes and stuff like that. And so when I got my nutrition in order, everything skyrocketed. It went crazy. The progress, speed. One time, there was a week where I lost 10 pounds. So you can imagine that only fired me up. So I kept going. I put my head down, and for 6-7 months, I was just grinding it out, going to the gym, eating the same foods every day. And then one day I looked up, boom, I was down 80 pounds. I started to gain some confidence. I felt very proud of myself. But I knew the work wasn't finished because I wasn't where I wanted to be at. Although I lost those 80 pounds and added on a little bit of muscle, I still had that skinny fat look. And so I went back in that mode for another 4 months. Instead of doing the same process that I did to lose 80 pounds, I switched it up, right? I started to track my macros, making sure I got enough protein, enough calories in, enough fats, etc. And I also started heavy weightlifting. I started to weightlift about 4 to 5 times a week. In those 4 months, I looked up and I was in the best shape ever, in the best shape of my life. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. I viewed the world so differently. I finally feel in control of my life. And the confidence was so high, I decided to share my journey in social media and stuff like that. And I got a lot of people asking me how I did it. Even some of my friends, even people I grew up with, they always ask me, yo, how did you lose that weight? A lot of people thought it was weed though. A lot of people thought it was drugs. But I'm Muslim. I don't smoke vape. I don't smoke weed. I don't drink. I don't do none of that, right? It wasn't as easy as it seemed, or as people make it look like it is, right? I went through a lot of struggle. I went through a lot of dark nights. I went through a lot of heartbreak. I went through a lot of humiliation. And all of that built me to the man that I am today, right? A man that was capable of losing 102 pounds. A man that was capable of staying consistent, staying disciplined, and staying on track, even when temptation lurks around the corner. When I shared my journey and transformation, I guess it resonated with a lot of people because I went to 50K followers on Instagram in less than 4 or 5 months. So it was really crazy. And I'm very happy and very grateful for the love that I have received. Before I end this video off, I just want to tell you guys to keep going. Whatever position you're in right now, and all the hardships and all the things that you've gone through, it's for a reason, right? If you keep your eyes on your goals, eyes on the prize, one day you will look up and you will be victorious. If I have done it, thousands of other people have done it, you can do it too, right? Don't let no one tell you you can't do anything. You can do whatever you want to if you put your mind to it. It's your boy Lou Got Fit. I'm gonna see you guys on the next video, and we out.